Good afternoon to our FGLers, our FGL ambassadors, and of course our proud parents. We are so excited to be counting down to our second Maths Olympiad that will be on the 23rd of July. That's right, it's this coming Saturday at 4:30. As you know, you have to register in order to take part in the webinar. So do the right thing, visit our website. You log in with your details in the VIP section, you find events, and you go to sharpening your Excellence Maths Olympiad and you look for the date, the 23rd of July. And you'll get your Zoom link and you're then ready to be part of the session on the 23rd of July. But I think more importantly is that you need to be prepared for the Olympiad that we're having this Saturday. We've had 2 Olympiads, so you have a taste of what it feels like to be under the time pressure. You have an idea of the sort of knowledge that Mavo is looking for when he's interrogating you in those questions. And also the intent is to really to sharpen your excellence. We want you to be ahead of your peers in your grade and in your schools, and even nationally. And this is why we insist and we encourage you to please take part in this Olympiad. It will be a 45-minute Olympiad like the last one. Mr. Solomon has said that he's setting these questions out as Olympiad type questions in order for you to be able to see what he means by that is that I need you to go to the maths section. And so after you've logged in your VIP login for your section in the website, I need you to go and find the maths questions. There he'll have his helpful hints, and they're not just hints. He will give an example of the type of questions he's going to ask this Saturday. This will allow you time to prepare your mind and how to allocate your time, how to allocate what time you need to doodle in order to figure out the solutions, and also how best to approach this Olympiad to make sure that you do your very best. We have the privilege to chat to good Mavo on how to best help you prepare for your Olympiad. Let's hear what he has to say. Today we have the privilege of speaking to Mavo Solomon, who's both hosted our webinars for science and maths, and of course curated the first 2 Olympiads for our FGLers. We're going to speak about reflections from the first 2 Olympiads, and of course some helpful hints as we head towards our Maths Olympiad this next Saturday. Mavo, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Olwethu. I'm doing well. It's good to be back here.
Yes, so our FGLers have been through 2 Olympiads, a brand new process for most of them. The Maths Olympiad was one that they did much more better, can I say, than they did in the one that we had on the 9th for science. What are some of the reflection points you'd like to give them on those 2 webinars?
So the Maths Olympiad, like you say, went very well. I didn't go as hard as I could have gone, but it wasn't an easy one as well. But I suspect the format of the questioning wasn't very Olympiad-y. This time around, it's going to be more like an Olympiad. So the questions are not going to be typical test or exam questions. They're going to be Olympiad questions. So they need to go online and search for an Olympiad example for their grade. And there's lots of those. The University of Pretoria has one. The University of Cape Town has one. I think there is a national one as well, which is held at Wits University, I think. So they must Google online and search for typical examples for a Maths Olympiad in their grade.
Okay, so you say an Olympiad is different to a typical exam. So when you say Olympiad-like questions, can you give me an example? What are you looking for when you're testing in an Olympiad?
So an exam question will say solve for x, and this is the equation you must solve x from. An Olympiad type of question might ask you to imagine a triangle, which means you must draw it for yourself. We're not going to give you a triangle to draw. We're not going to give you a drawn triangle. You must imagine it or draw it on paper for yourself and solve maybe a sum of 2 angles versus finding a single unknown angle. So Olympiad questions are very investigative. You know, they're not spoon feeding. Exam questions are leading. Olympiad questions are about curiosity. So you must be able to imagine situations and solve them, and choose from 5 given options, or say if there is no option for your answer. So they're meant to be difficult.
Okay. Yes. So the whole point of us having these Olympiad sessions to be able to frame our future global mind leaders, members club minds into a way where they're not just reading the subject to memorize or to know, but they're actually applying it in real life situations. And that's what Olympiad questions present, is a real life situation, perhaps like we saw in the science one. So any 3 top helpful hints, let's say, for this Saturday's Olympiad. So you said they must go and find Olympiad questions and do that practice. What would be the other 2 helpful hints for them, apart from the ones we'll load onto the website?
Okay, so that's the first one. They must Google and search for typical Olympiad questions for their specific grade. And there's lots of examples online. And secondly, they must get used to drawing things on paper quickly for themselves. So you have 3 minutes really per question, because I still keep it to 15 minutes, to 15 questions. So that's only 3 minutes per question. And not all of the questions are as forward as they would like them to be. So they must be able to scribble down or draw or doodle. This is my favorite thing. And I think they probably learned hard with the Physics Olympiad. So for the Maths Olympiad, a lot of those physics-y type of questions, a lot of kids think they are physics questions, but the maths questions might come up in terms of calculating a distance traveled if you're driving at a certain speed. So I recommend getting some of those basic maths or physics type questions for speed and time looked at. They must also think in terms of measurement, right? Which is basically understanding shapes, what a cube is, what a pyramid is, how to calculate the area of a triangle, how to calculate the volume of a pyramid. All of those things, they must check those. And you ask for 3 things. Good luck.
Well, that's it. You have it there, FGLers. Please do take the hints that Mr. Solomon has given you, and also take the time to go onto our website so you can view the helpful hints and be able to prepare your minds and applying the knowledge that you have to ensure that you get that 75% and above. We thank you all. We'll see you on Saturday.